and that was like after you guys had been kind of arguing for a while about. I mean, an argument starts. You guys are arguing. You're telling her, no. You're telling her all these things.
Yeah, I mean, the argument developed more slowly than what just happened, and there was other things said too. But that's how it culminated with you telling her, well, if that's the case, if that's how you feel, you got to move on. Yes.
Okay.
Right here, folks, we're seeing the argument hit its boiling point. In legal terms, this is crucial. Words alone rarely justify physical retaliation, but escalating tension like this can set the stage for claims of self-defense later. Notice the emotional buildup. It's not just a fight, it's a pressure cooker moment.
What did she say anything to you about her mom and Gianna?
She did. So, like, earlier in the conversation, she'd be like, well, what if my mom chaperones my work trips with him? And I was like, no, like, I'm still not okay with that. Like, and that's not a long-term viable solution. And then later in the argument, when things kind of got heated, she was like, well, actually, my mom just said that she'll chaperone the trip, and she thinks Jeff is interesting and can't wait to meet him. And I'm like, you're obviously telling them a whole different version of what happened than me.
So in the argument, in her effort to say for you to be okay with it and go on the trip, she said, well, what if my mom chaperones me?
Yes.
Okay. After, it comes to this point in the argument where you say, well, you know what, you got to move out there. I'm going to tell everybody what you did. I mean, it was a pretty, it got to kind of it was not a good conversation, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you do next?
I stomped off. I just stomped off up the trail. And this was a point where we were both really kind of just upset with each other, and I went one way and she went the other way.
How far up did you go?
5 to 10 minutes.
Okay. Why did you turn around?
I was kind of at a loss of not kind of a loss. I was I just didn't want to be there. Like.
Did it make sense for you to keep going on this hike?
No. I like 5 to 10 minutes in, I was like realizing kind of where I was, and I was like, I don't want to be here. I want to go home and like start dealing with what we need to deal with. I don't want to, I got to the point where it opens up and it's like these beautiful views, and I'm like there by myself. And
pause for a second. He's heading back, expecting her to be at the car, but she's not. How often do you think we misjudge someone's actions in a heated moment? Drop your thoughts. Would you have waited or gone back?
Okay.
Upset, and I was like, I don't want to be on this hike by myself, upset, and I don't want to do this hike. I'm going to come back and do this hike at a different time when I'm happy. I was really looking forward to doing the hike.
When you headed back down, were you expecting Ariel to be where you had left her?
No.
Where were you expecting her to be?
I thoued she went to the car because I saw her head down the trail.
And there was testimony that when she said when you got there, you said, "Oh, you're still here." Did you say that to her?
Yes.
And is that because you assumed she had gone back to the parking lot?
Yes.
How far away from the parking lot were you guys when this argument started?
Like 5 minutes.
Okay.
Or less, probably. Yeah.
Okay. Now you get back. What is her demeanor and behavior like now?
Like a 180 reversal, basically. So she was like extremely apologetic, and said, basically, I'm so sorry. You're right. Like, I need to take accountability, and like, let's just, not ruin the day. I don't want to ruin the day. I don't want to ruin our trip, and let's keep talking about this in therapy. Okay. And she said, like, I won't travel with Jeff.
Did you guys end up taking a selfie?
Yeah. First, she was like, again, like almost manic, like super happy, and was trying to basically, get me to be in a better mood. And she was like, I'm gonna climb this tree, take pictures of me in this tree. And so she handed me her phone, and I took some pictures of her in the tree.
Whoa! Did you catch that? A shove near a cliff's edge. This isn't just a spat anymore. It's life and death stakes. Even in a legal setting, this detail alone could pivot a case from simple assault to potential criminal liability. Stay with me. Things are about to get intense.
And then after that, she said, let's take a selfie by the cliff's edge.
That was her idea?
Yes.
Okay. Did you guys take one?
We did.
And what happened after that?
Right after the selfie, I just remember kind of staying at the edge there and looking over the edge and just kind of still in thought about everything that had just happened and what's going on. And then I felt like a shove,
Okay.
and I was almost pushed over the edge.
Okay. You felt a shove. Okay. Who shoved you?
Ari did.
What did you do right after that?
Barely caught myself and turned around and looked at her and was like, "What the fuck was that?" Like,
Okay. Turned around and it was like what like was like kind of in shock, like what the fuck was that?
yes.
Okay. And then did you move towards her?
Yeah, I did. I was like, just asking her, like, what was that, and started walking towards her.
Okay.
Because at this point, she was like 5 or 10 feet away from me.
Okay. So you walk towards her, and you mentioned when you're walking towards her, where were your hands?
Out.
Okay. Now, did you get close to her?
Yes, eventually, yeah. Well,
And by the way, when you start walking towards her, is she saying anything?
not initially, but I turn around and I'm asking her, like, what the hell's, what the fuck just happened and what's going on. And as I'm starting to walk towards her, she starts yelling.
She starts yelling.
Yeah, help me, help me.
Okay. And then what happens?
And then I just keep walking to her, like, what are you doing?
Were you
And I
telling
get,
her, like, why are you screaming?
yeah, what are you doing? And I get to her and I'm like,
Quick legal note. He insists he never tried to push her off the cliff. This distinction is critical. In court, intent is everything. Claiming self-defense hinges on proving you didn't provoke or escalate the threat unnecessarily.
touching her, just putting my hands on her arms, and I was like, what are you doing? What's going on?
What happens then?
She keeps yelling, and she kind of grabs my wrists and throws herself on the ground and pulls me down with her.
So now you guys are on the ground?
Yes.
Okay. When you're on the ground, what starts to happen?
She's holding on to me, and I'm trying to, I'm trying to figure out what's going on, but I'm also at this point trying to let go of, like, trying to get free because she's like actively holding on
What
to me.
was she
Like
doing
she
with
has
her
her,
legs?
she has her leg like wrapped around one of my legs, and like is actively holding on to me and is yelling, and so I'm trying to, get free, and I get my one arm free, and I try to use it to get my other arm free, and she grabs me by the testicles, and
Okay. Let me stop you there. Did you ever, in the course of this whole thing you described so far, ever try to pull her towards, push her off, or drag her towards the cliff's edge?
no, not at all.
Okay. So you're on the ground. She's kind of holding on to you. You guys are. Would you just kind of like a scuffle going on?
Yes,
Okay. And her legs wrapped around you.
yes,
You mentioned we got right up to the point where you said she grabbed your testicles. Is that right?
yes.
How hard did she grab it?
I mean, this was, yeah, like,
Pretty hard.
she, like, was holding on to me by my testicles, basically, like, that hard.
Okay. Did she grab it and let go, or did she grab it and hold on?
She grabbed it and held on.
Now, what happens after she does that?
Then I try to free my testicles, and so I'm, like, thrashing with and I get both hands free, and I'm trying to get her to let go of my testicles, and then she hits me with a rock on the side of the face.
Okay. So she's holding on to your testicles. You're kind of focused on that, obviously, and then at some point while you're focused on that, you
And it happened all really fast.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
I mean,
I'm glad you raised that up. Was this like happening slowly, where you had
it
time
all
to
happened within, like, I mean, probably less than a minute, maybe
quickly?
slightly more than a minute, but I mean, 2
I mean,
minutes or something.
yeah, but you weren't timing it.
From the moment that, like, we were on the ground and she was grabbing my testicles, was like
It happened quickly.
everything after the grabbing of the testicles happened very quickly.
Okay. And you weren't timing it or anything.
No.
This is just your estimate. Okay. So now she's holding on to you. She's squeezing your testicles, and you kind of dealing with that. And she's on the ground, and you're kind of on top of her.
Yes.
Okay. And you said then you felt you got hit with the rock.
Yes.
Where'd you get hit?
On the left side of my face.
How many times?
She kept doing it. The first blow she landed really well, and after that I was able to block
Okay.
fairly well. She did like land a couple more, but not as bad as the first one.
So she still got your testicles?
Yeah, so she's like holding my testicle and just like
Okay.
hitting me like this.
And now, do you stop dealing with your
I'm
testicles?
just
and you-
focused on the rock at this point.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Did it hurt when you got hit with the rock?
you did.
Could we publish what's in evidence as Exhibit D30, Your Honor?
So, the rock comes into play. He's defending himself under extreme stress. 2 blows, and he stops immediately once the threat ends. For anyone following along, how fast can your instincts take over? This is a textbook rapid response scenario that juries often have to dissect in milliseconds.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Gerhard, is this where you got hit with the rock?
Yes.
There? Is that the area?
Yes.
All right. We can take that down. Now, you get hit with the rock. Explain to the jury what happens next and why.
I was able to wrestle the rock out of her hand.
Does she still have your testicles?
Yes.
Still squeezing them?
Yes.
What do
And
you do?
I was able to like. So we're like she's hitting me and I'm like blocking and then I start like, and I get
Is
her
there a
wrist.
scuffle over the rock?
Yes.
Is it near her face?
Yes. I mean
Okay.
it's yeah
And
it's
then what
right.
happens?
And I finally get the rock.
What'd you do?
I hit her with the rock.
How many times do you think you hit her?
I hit her 2 times.
And when you did, was she still holding on to your testicles?
Yes.
At least initially?
Yes.
Why did you hit her? Why did you react that way?
Just on instinct to defend myself.
How fast was this all happening? Pretty fast?
Really fast.
In between when she hit you with the rock and in between the time she hit you with the rock and when you hit her with the rock, were you able to safely retreat and get away from her?
No.
Yeah. Why not?
She was holding on to me.
Including your testicles?
Yes.
Did you hit her in the face or the eye with the rock?
No.
Where you said 2 times, where did you hit her?
On the side of the head.
So we've seen these photos of the stellate laceration. You caused that by hitting her, right?
Yes.
Did you continue to hit her after those 2 hits?
No.
And why not?
Because she stopped fighting. She let go of my testicles, and I was
Okay.
able to stand up.
And then you stopped.
Yes.
There was testimony about the 2 witnesses. Did you stop hitting her because the witnesses showed up?
No. I didn't know that they were there until after I stood up.
Did you see blood?
Yes.
Was there a lot of blood?
There was a lot of blood.
Did you see her kind of scoot down towards the witnesses?
Yes.
Did you try to stop her in any way?
No.
And here's the human side. He's in severe emotional distress. Even if legally justified, the weight of seeing someone hurt, even in self-defense, is crushing. Ask yourself, could you make split-second decisions under this kind of pressure without regret? That's the heart of these cases.
You let her get to them.
Yes.
Did you hear her yelling to the witnesses, he's trying to kill me?
Yes.
Gerhard, did you have any syringes on the mountain that day?
No.
Did you try to poke her or stab her with any syringes?
No.
Okay. Now, Gerhard, she scoots away. She's now with the 2 witnesses. You see a lot of blood. What do you physically do next?
I'm just in a daze, and I just kind of watch her crawl away and then leave with the other 2 hikers.
Okay, she got the hikers. What do you do next? Was her bag and your bag there?
Yeah, so I just kind of reflexively gathered up all of our stuff, and then I start walking up the trail.
Let me ask you this. at this point, immediately following what just happened, you saw, you guys had this scuffle. You saw a lot of blood. What was your state of mind and emotional state like right now, right at this point that we're at?
Severe emotional distress.
How did you feel at that time about the fact that you had responded and defended
Horrible.
yourself? Let me finish the
Horrible.
question.
Sorry.
How did you feel about the fact that you, and even though you say it was, you were defending yourself, how did you feel about that she was bleeding?
I felt horrible.